Have you always wanted a 4K monitor, but you just couldn't handle spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a freaking computer screen? Well, have we ever got a deal for you? As long as you don't need high refresh rate, HDR, 10-bit color, FreeSync, G-Sync, or sexy RGB lighting, then this right here is the Sceptre U27, the cheapest 4K monitor on Amazon at just $179. But is it any good? Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you if it wasn't for our sponsor, Storyblocks. Storyblocks offers you studio quality stock video clips for a fraction of the cost. Check it out today at the link in the video description. All right, so James over there has actually seen this already, but I haven't. So this is gonna be my first time unboxing just how much monitor you can get for $180. I'll tell you, you're not gonna get a lot of packaging, so I mean, it should be fine as long as UPS doesn't, drop kick it or anything. Outputs, wow, it's got built-in speakers, so that's not bad, although my expectations are pretty low in terms of what kind of speed. Wow, you get a metal stand. I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting it to be pretty low plastic. All right, that's cool. Included accessories, you got your screws, you got your other more different screws, you got your driver of screws, also known as a screwdriver. One HDMI cable, one pretty skinny power cord, but that's fine, I guess. I guess they didn't need a third ground prong for this for some reason. And some other more different screws. You also get the monitor itself, and we have come to the point where even literally the cheapest displays are super thin with narrow bezels these days. 2018 is a great time to be alive, isn't it? Look at that. Oh, thank God. I mean, if it wasn't compatible with Windows 10, whatever would I do? The craziest thing about this sticker is that that doesn't happen by accident. Someone, somewhere, went out of their way to obtain reams upon reams of these stickers and find some way to work into the workflow of producing this monitor that they get applied to them. Who made that call? Base screw. Hanging screw. So these are for if you're VESA mounting it. Okay, that's cool. That is actually a really nice inclusion. That's one of the ways that conventional, the monitor brands you've ever heard of tend to differentiate their low-end products is they don't allow them to be mounted on a third-party arm. Well, this is a serious advantage for this one. It's always been something that's kind of triggered me because it doesn't cost them really anything to put 4 freaking holes there. This is not even the worst screwdriver I've ever encountered. And basically for free. You probably need to know which way the stand goes on though. So there's these convenient rubber feet on the bottom of the metal stand. I gotta say the I/O's a little better than I expected. So we've got 2 HDMI ports, though you should note, and they've marked this very clearly, one of them is only HDMI 1.4, so it doesn't have the latest HDCP as well, 4K 30 Hertz, and it won't be able to play the latest protected content. One of them though is HDMI 2.0, HDCP 2.2, 4K 60 Hertz. It's also got DisplayPort and DVI, curiously, along with a headphone jack. Now you're not gonna get like a USB hub or anything like that, but frankly, at this price, you shouldn't be expecting that. Moment of truth. Sceptre! Worst peel ever. It should be illegal to ship monitors with stickers that not only are just completely superfluous, but also cover the screen. Let's go ahead and have a look at the menu here. So we've got our, they've committed a cardinal sin here. They've put buttons on the back without labels on the front. So we're just kind of guessing here. Overdrive is on. Just does nothing? The colors, they do nothing. No, never mind, I just had it wrong. Blue light shift, so you can, it's kind of like a reading mode. Now that we're running at 60 Hertz, my immediate impressions are pretty good. Like there's no obvious like, oh wow, this is really, you know, pretty crap input lag or, dang. Can we actually cut the lights? Like, do you guys remember when every cheap monitor had like the grossest TN panel and just like epic amounts of backlight bleed along the sides? Like, this is not bad. Like, obviously you get a bit of that IPS glow, but frankly, that's never really bothered me. And you know, the stand's not amazing. You know, it has height adjust in the sense that you can put it, okay, it has some tilt. That's good, that's, you know, better than nothing. So next step here is, how suitable would this thing be for gaming? Well, frankly, there's a fair amount of motion blur there. It's possible that we could actually bump the refresh rate. Someone on Reddit apparently reported getting as high as 71 Hertz on this thing. I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna aim that high, but why don't we try 70? Oh. Oh. I have not seen that before. Okay, so your mileage may vary. This worked, but is clearly a terrible experience. Do you want to get in close to that, Brendan, so they can really have the experience here? Yeah, look at this Razer logo. It's alive. It's squirming like a snake. All right, so we're gonna call it quits on the display overclocking at this point, but you know, let's fire up a game. Let's fire up CSGO. Those are not great speakers. At 3 watts, I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but those are quite bad. This is actually a lot better in terms of responsiveness than I was expecting. Sorry, the game's not rendering like that. It's just, I'm just moving it around like this. Like, I mean, obviously it's not a, you know, 240 Hertz gaming monitor or whatever, but like it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I suck! Uh-oh. Blah, 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 blah. The thing is that if you're spending $180 on your display, like running 4K has inherent problems because you probably aren't spending enough on your PC that you can comfortably game at 4K 60. But if you happen to be hooked up to something that can game at 4K 60, this is not a terrible experience. So the last real question mark for us then is color accuracy. And thankfully, James has actually run it through our gamut of tests using the i1 Pro from X-Rite here. And in terms of results, this is far from amazing. So a delta E of 7 is well within the range that it would be a noticeable difference to the eye, but it's not the worst we've seen for sure. And let's actually check out our gamut test here. And with 90% coverage of sRGB, like with calibration, yeah, you wouldn't be doing any serious photo or, you know, video work on it, but it is more than usable. For casual use, you're not gonna notice like, oh, yeah, red is pink or anything like that. I consider this very acceptable considering the price of this display. Now, with all that said, something that you're gonna run up against with any kind of value monitor these days is that you might be getting sort of the reject from a more reputable factory. So the word on the street is that these are using cast-off Samsung panels, which, to be clear, that's actually a pretty good thing. Even a B Samsung panel is not gonna make for a terrible display, but you're more likely to run into things like this. So we actually have a dead pixel on ours right about here. You can see that black spot right there. Sometimes you can actually kind of massage them out. It looks like that is not going to be happening. The good news is that at 4K, dead pixels are actually far less of an issue than they used to be back when we were running 1280 by 1024, where you could like really see them. And dead is better than stuck. Like if you got like a freaking blue stuck pixel, that's quite a lot more noticeable than this. Like I probably wouldn't notice that. if I hadn't known it was there. I think it's just like a tiny little piece of dust or something. What's that? Oh, we got another one.
I noticed that one with the copper white browser.
Okay, yeah, actually we've got a handful. We've got one here, got one here, got one here, got one there. It took me till now to notice them, and I don't think anyone sets their desktop background like that either though. So in conclusion, this thing is actually kind of awesome. Like, I don't know, would you put it a different way? Like at this price, at least for the unit we got, which by the way, we just bought, so your mileage may vary, but like, clearly this can happen. Like, I'm impressed as hell. 180 bucks. I mean, when you compare that to the most popular monitor on Amazon, which is that HP 1080p one, yeah, it costs twice as much, but it absolutely blows it out of the water. This thing's great. And this video is brought to you by something else that's great, Storyblocks. With Storyblocks, you can get studio quality stock footage for a fraction of the price. And you can download all the stock video your heart desires from their member library, including HD and 4K footage, along with After Effects templates, motion backgrounds, and more. We actually use it quite a bit around here for our Tech Quickie channel. Plus, you can get exclusive discounts on millions of additional marketplace clips, where you save 40% on every purchase compared to non-members, and the original artists take home a commission on every sale. All the content is royalty-free, so you can use it for personal projects, such as YouTube videos, or commercial projects, such as YouTube videos if you're like us, and new clips get added regularly, so there's always something fresh to check out. So go learn more at the link in the video description. So thanks for watching, guys. You can dislike this video if you disliked it, but if you liked it, hit like, get subscribed, or maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured at the link in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join. I am impressed as hell by this thing. Like, it really doesn't have any glaring problems. Get it? Glaring problems because it's a matte screen?